everybody, welcome back to the house, and today we have a brand new video. We're going to be discussing how to maintain your clothes so you can reuse and rewear them every single season. The very first tip I have for maintaining your clothes is to mind your washings, and that is pretty much self-explanatory. Making sure you're reading the labels, whether or not it can be ironed, whether or not it has to be dry cleaned, what kind of material it's made out of, whether it needs to be like a low dry cycle, a high spin cycle, hot, cold, all of those little, anonymous symbols on the tag of your clothing are actually very important if you want to maintain its longevity, especially if you're using natural materials, because some materials just don't do well in the washing machine. So definitely making sure you go into the little pockets and the crevices of your clothing and check that label. Make sure you know the material, what that material can handle, and what instructions you need to follow when it comes time for washing your clothes. The next tip kind of goes hand in hand with the previous tip, is picking materials that last long. In a lot of our clothing, we have synthetic materials, which after time, it tends not to hold its shape. It tends not to look so well. It's harder to carry those pieces over years because after a while, it's lived its life. And that's kind of what's happening now. Our clothes aren't manufactured and made to the highest of qualities. So of course, the reuse cycle, it goes on and on. People throw their clothes away because after a while they tend to start looking dingy, and then they buy new clothes, and it's kind of like the same thing over and over again. I've kind of turned to buying materials which I find to be easier to take care of. So I love my cotton. I feel like, cotton is it holds on to moisture and it can be stiff and all these things, but I find that my pieces that are made of cotton have lasted me longer than any other piece that I own. Cotton and linen, I definitely love those two materials. Those tend to last me the longest. I do pick up something that has a synthetic blend to it. I try to do something that's mixed with a natural material. Those pieces that are blended, sometimes they're a little bit cheaper, and also when you blend synthetics and naturals, the clothing tends to hold up a lot better. So companies will mix those materials instead of just using an all cotton blouse or like an all silk blouse just to maintain the longevity of the piece. Next tip for maintaining your clothes is also doing alterations and fixing things that need to be fixed. This usually decides whether you should keep a piece or let it go. So if you have something where, there's like a hole or there's like a tear, it's a little too long, it's a little too short, it's a little funky, you lost a little weight, stuff like that, you can definitely try going to a tailor or an alterations person and have them kind of fit the clothing item so it fits you a little bit better, because as we get older and over time, our bodies tend to change and our clothes don't necessarily change with our bodies. Also, you can kind of get a little bit creative and alter the clothes. So I've had a long maxi dress when I was like really into maxi dresses, and now I kind of don't like it. I'm more into like midi or like mini dresses. So I would take those to a tailor and they would just cut off those extra few inches and like that, just to kind of give the clothing item a new life. Yep, so like easy rips or tears, like I've had tears in my clothing where I'll just get a thread of the same color and I would just turn it inside out, and then I would just thread that whole clothes, making sure that I'm not washing it as often, because when you do wash your clothes a lot, it does tend to look worse or not as great over time. So I'll just be careful with those pieces that I know have like little alterations, and make them a little bit more delicate when it comes to washing them. Like this tip, it's just I wish I had the amount of storage space I would need to fold all of my sweaters and fold all of my t-shirts and stuff like that. It's unrealistic. And then my last tip on how to maintain your clothes is steaming over ironing. I used to iron all of my clothes just to get all the wrinkles out and make it as crisp as possible, and I realized over time I felt like the material of my clothing would kind of like diminish, or the iron would just do something to the materials. I would use it on the lowest setting and I feel like it would still be burning it. So I started to steam my clothes and I find it so much easier. I purchased this steamer from Amazon. It's a travel steamer, so it's amazing. It's portable. Hello, portable. The reason I hated ironing my clothes is because I would have to get the bulky iron out of the bathroom, plug it in, wait for it to heat up. It was just way too much. This steamer is the best thing ever. All I have to do is there's a little canister that you can disconnect and reconnect whether or not you're traveling. You fill it up with water, twist it on, plug it in, and as soon as you plug it in, it heats right up and you just press the button. And the cool thing about this steamer is it has kind of like a silver metal on the tip of it, which kind of acts like an iron, but you're not actually ironing. It's just hot steam that's coming out. And you don't have to lay down the clothing when you're steaming either. You can do it holding up in the air. You can do it pretty much anywhere. It's just so easy to use. It makes my clothing look great. So sometimes when I go on vacation and I pack in my suitcase, stuff can get creases. So as soon as I unpack, I just steam them really quick before I hang them all up in the hotel closet. Those are all of my tips for how to maintain your clothes from season to season. If you guys have any of your personal tips you use, leave them downstairs. Leave them in the comments down below so we all can have a discussion about it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. And also do not forget to have a great day.